scared to death.
You don't look scared?
Well, you ain't supposed to.
Then you don't have to do it.
Yeah, well, I think I do.
You know, living with you, it hasn't been easy. People see me, but they think of you. Now with all this going on, this is gonna be worse than ever.
It don't have to be.
No, sure it does.
Why? You got a lot going on, kid.
Oh, what, my last name? That's the reason I got a decent job. That's the reason why people deal with me in the first place. Now I start to get a little ahead. I start to get a little something for myself, and this happens. Now I'm asking you as a favor not to go through with this, okay? This is only gonna end up bad for you, and it's gonna end up bad for me.
You think I'm hurting you?
Yeah, in a way you are.
It's the last thing I ever wanted to do.
I know that's not what you want to do, but that's just the way that it is. Don't you care what people think? Doesn't it bother you that people are making you out to be a joke and that I'm gonna be included in that? Do you think that's right? Do you?
You ain't gonna believe this. But you used to fit right here. I'd hold you up and say to your mother, this kid's gonna be the best kid in the world. This kid's gonna be somebody better than anybody ever knew. And you grew up good and wonderful. It was great just watching you every day. It was like a privilege. Then the time come for you to be your own man and take on the world, and you did. But somewhere along the line, you changed. You stopped being you. You let people stick a finger in your face and tell you you're no good. And when things got hard, you started looking for something to blame, like a big shadow. Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is gonna hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Now, if you know what you're worth, now go out and get what you're worth. But you gotta be willing to take the hits and not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you wanna be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you. You're better than that. I'm always gonna love you no matter what. No matter what happens. You're my son, you're my blood. You're the best thing in my life. But until you start believing in yourself, you ain't gonna have a life.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is TEFitness Uncut. Thank you for watching this video. And before I start, I want to encourage you guys to subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Just go ahead and get that out of the way, and also subscribe to our free email channel. In the link below is where it says Amplify Now. Go ahead and click on that. Just go ahead and take care of that. Just go ahead and take care of the housekeeping first. Do this, subscribe, boom. Subscribe to our free email newsletter, boom. And I'm gonna tell you why after this video. So I just want to just get that out of the way, okay? First of all, the video that you just watched was a skit. Most of you guys probably seen that before, but some of you guys probably haven't. With Rocky Balboa talking to his son about what happens when you blame others for your mishaps. Okay, now how many of you guys will agree with Rocky or what he told his son? Now let me ask you a very important question. How far does that principle of what he mentioned, how far does it go? Where does it stop at? Okay, now before I continue, I might, if you're very religious, this might disturb you. Okay, you might find this very uncomfortable to hear, but I need to mention this because this is one of the biggest causes of unnecessary stress. Okay, now before I say anything, let me remind you of what TEFitness Uncut is and why we do what we do. Okay, we can all agree. Okay, and there's actually facts. This is facts from the National Institute of Health, from the CDC, and also from the Surgeon General here in the U.S. Data have shown that this country, back to back to back since the 80s, have been the heaviest, most obese, and unhealthiest country in the world. We constantly keep competing with Mexico, and now we're competing against Qatar, now the country of Qatar, of being one of the unhealthiest countries in the world. And would you say when you're not healthy and you are having so much stress, you cannot concentrate on building something. You can't concentrate on building yourself, building your family. And I mean, if that's the case, you definitely can't build your country. If you have a lot of people in this country who are so stressed out, and one of the biggest stresses is their finances, then you cannot really run a functioning, very successful country. Would you agree with that? So what we do here at TEFitness Uncut is that we get down to the common denominator, the roots cause of stress. Okay, we made a post on our Instagram profile a couple of days ago that states, "We'd love to see you get unstressed." The reason why we say that is because that's where we like to start. That's where we like to begin our message, to try to help you eliminate as much unnecessary stress as possible. Okay, I've noticed that there's two types of stress. There's mental stress, which we can control, and there's physical stress that we can also control. Physical stress can come from working out. Let's say you're pumping iron, right? And the more you are resisting the weights, okay, and you feeling your muscles burning, you're like, oh yeah, let me get 5 more reps. See, that's stress, but that stress can be used for good because you're building muscle, you're tearing up the muscle fibers, and you consume high quality under nature protein to build it back up quickly, and you can recover faster. Okay, so that's appropriate stress. The second stress that we want to help you eliminate, it all boils down to this thing right here. When you don't know who you are, enjoy a life full of stress. Okay? If you don't know who you are, enjoy a life full of stress. If you refuse to learn who you are and where you come from, but you believe, oh, I know where I come from, and you fill in the blanks, okay? Then therefore, you stressing over politics, you stressing over your health, you stressing over your family, any kind of stress whatsoever, but you think you know who you are, then this video is not for you, and I definitely encourage you to go ahead, turn this off, and go back to strolling like you always do on Facebook or social media. But if you're saying, yeah, I tried everything, TEFitness, and I'm sick and tired of stressing out, I want to know what is going on, then I want to ask you this question. How far does blaming others go? Where does it stop at? When I was coming up, I grew up in a religious setting, and I found out that it's okay. Now, I'm not blaming my parents. They taught me what they knew at hand. We were encouraged to blame the devil for all of our mishaps. Okay, if you had a certain ailment, it was the devil's fault. If the Republicans was in the White House, it was the devil's fault. If Democrats was screwing up, it was the devil's fault. If there was war going on from another country, it was the devil's fault. Everything was the devil's fault. In other words, the devil had more power over us than we had over him, simply because we blamed him for everything under the sun. Now, again, how far does this blame game go? Is the devil exempt from the whole stop blaming others scenario? I think that he's not exempt. I think that the moment you stop giving him so much credit for all the mishaps that you are experiencing, the more you're gaining more power from him, and you're gaining it to yourself. I've heard so many people of confidence will say, you know what, this is on me. I did this, I made a decision, I need to work it, I need to fix it. Those people were the one that I was inspired by, because they seemed so powerful all of a sudden to me. And then you had those who say, oh man, it's his fault or her fault. They look really weak to me, and I didn't understand this as a child. So I want to bring that back to where we are from a health point of view. T-Fitness Agenda, the reason why we are here is because we believe deep down inside, we've noticed a trend, and we believe, according to what our intuition has been telling us and according to what we have been seeing lately with our data, is that wellness and fitness is starting to change. People starting to look at it differently than the way we were trained to look at it since the 1960s. People focus on physical, 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 physical every time. Well, we tried that, and look where it got us. We have one of the most unhealthiest societies in the world, okay? We believed in this brute force, muscle to arm kind of way of mentality, and look where it got us. We even adapted the food pyramid, for crying out loud, and look where it got us. So we obviously have seen the product that the masses have bought regarding diet and wellness and weight loss and whatever like that, and it just has not been working. Okay, so what is the approach that we've been doing in order to help our followers, help our customers, help you and everyone else achieve the ideal life? Never mind the body. All right, let's forget about the body for a second. Let's focus on life. Get the ideal life. Get the ideal mentality that you would love to have so that you can achieve everything else. We have been so focused on our body, but we haven't been focusing on our mind lately. And that is where wellness and fitness is going to. It's going to focus in on your mental faculty. Now, we may be ahead of a lot of people's times, but we know what we're doing, we know what's happening, and we're going straight ahead, okay? I want to share something else with you guys, a weakness that I had a while back. I grew up being told not to worry about what other people think about you. I want you guys to watch this clip of the video, of the clip earlier. Watch this video. Watch this part right here.
I know that's not what you want to do, but that's just the way that it is. Don't you care what people think? Doesn't it bother you that people are making you out to be a joke and that I'm going to be included in that? Do you think that's right?
I have a confession to make. I did. I was worried about what people thought about me. There's so many videos that I have made myself personally with TEFitness Uncut that I haven't even shown to you guys yet, simply because it tapped into some deep things that I thought I would offend certain people. But then I realized how political correctness is one of the biggest diseases of all time. It is a mental disease that inflicts even who you think is the strongest one, all because someone gonna get their feelings hurt. Okay, so my weakness was I worried about what people thought about me. I did. Social media brought that out of me. I'm so grateful for social media. It has brought out what I needed to work on. One of the biggest things I needed to work on was worrying about what people thought about me. I would say one minute, I would say, I don't care what people think about me. But the next minute, I would go back to my pages, I would go back to my videos, I would go back to my posts, and I would see if anybody liked it, or I would see if anybody commented it. And when no one did, you know what I felt like? I felt neglected. I did. I felt neglected. I felt like I wasn't important anymore. I felt like I had nothing else of value to give to people in this world. There was moments where I just felt like calling it quits because I felt like there was nothing I had to offer anymore. And I kept asking my creator, why am I even here on this earth? Now, don't you think the people that you would think doesn't even have that thought pattern, you'd be surprised. And this is gonna really hit some of you who might have lost loved ones or friends of suicide, or who contemplated suicide or anything like that. Let me tell you something. I understand these suicide hotlines. They mean well. And I can understand, I can imagine they've helped so many people. But I'm going to tell you from my personal experience of what I have observed, that the one that you would never think of or imagine committed suicide, do it. They didn't call the hotline. They didn't call their brothers and sisters and says, hey, I'm going to off myself. They didn't do no warning whatsoever. They already made their mind up. You might see a little bit of science here and there, but they made their mind up. They say, yep, it's time for me to go. And come to find out, one minute they're smiling and laughing and having fun, and the next minute They off themselves. That's why suicide is shocking to people, because the people that you least expect to commit to do this does it. And those who announce it, I'm not trying to be mean or nothing like that, but they're still here. They're hanging on. Why? Because there's so many demons that each of us has to deal with as we live our life. But the thing is, where does those demons come from? Well, I grew up believing that the demons came from hell. And we were told that hell is a physical place. Is it though? Is it? You tell me your demons and I'll tell you mine. I told you one of them. I cared about what people thought of me. But this is the most important that I want to get back. Where do some of those demons come from? Let me give you just my observation of where they come from. Okay, when we do not cover our energy, or in religious term, when we do not cover ourselves with the blood of Christ, this is what people in religion would say. When you don't protect yourself, where I come from, we used to say, Archangel Michael, protect my energy as I go out and about. Okay, and we used to talk about the principalities, and I'm still trying to figure out what that means. But I think what that means is when you go out and about, you are absorbing so much energy from other people, and there's a gazillion personal experiences and thought patterns that people have in their head. Some of these people can't stand themselves. They are ready to go. They're ready to go. They can't stand themselves. They hate the world. They hate themselves. And what you do is, when you do not protect yourself, you do not protect your energy, you are absorbing their energy. You're taking it in, and come to find out, you start having these random crazy thoughts that you would say to yourself, you would admit to yourself, I would never think that way. But it's not that you're thinking that, it's that you took in someone else's story. Okay, let's look at energy as stories. There are almost 10 billion stories in this world. 340 million just in this country alone. Can you imagine how much stories you absorb when you go to work every day? When you just go to your regular errand? When you look at someone's eyes, you are looking at the window of their soul. And if their soul is black and you have not protected your energy, you're sucking that energy. Well, you're not sucking energy. They are sucking your energy, and you are bringing that energy to you. Therefore, you have opened your book and allowed them to bring all those energies to you. And that's not the only one. It could be one person. It could be 10 people. It could be 20 people. I don't know how many people you face every single day. But the thing is that it's understandable how someone says, I can't stand people. It's understandable because people in general, they have this ick feeling, and they want to perpetrate it. They want to inflict it on everyone else. If I can't have it, you can't have it either. Kind of like the crab mentality. If I can't have a good life, you can't have a good life. And they just have this inkling feeling toward themselves, and they dart it out on everybody out in the world. So when you do not protect your energy, or your mind, or your spirit, depending on which words you vibe with, then you are absorbing all that consciousness. God forbid, if you're a counselor, or if you're a doctor dealing with patients, or mental patients, or whatever, you are taking in all their energy, and therefore you're having these thoughts that you would never ever thought in a gazillion years you would have. Well, rest assured that those thoughts are not yours, but what has happened is that you have taken in their energy, and that's why that is one of the this is my conspiracy. I'm not saying this is fact. This is my conspiracy. Conspiracy. Okay? Can you decipher between conspiracy and fact? Well, I'm going to give you my conspiracy. I'm not stating a fact. All right, this is for people who are like, oh my God, okay. My conspiracy is this: those who have committed suicide, or those who are planning on committing suicide, and they don't know why, I believe because they taken in someone else's energy who is ready to go, who is ready to commit suicide. They have blamed everyone and everything under the sun, and they're ready to go. And you could have taken in that energy. So what I suggest you to do, and you probably say, what's this have to do with the Rocky Balboa thing? But this just came to me just now, and it might be saving someone's fucking life. So let me just say this right goddamn now. What I suggest you to do is I suggest you to write down all the feelings that you just feeling right now that you believe is justifying you having that feeling. Write it down on a piece of paper and then burn the shit out of it. Burn it up. Do it now. Turn this video off and burn that shit now. Or if you're driving, don't worry about it. But do it now. Do it now. Burn it. Burn it. Burn it. Burn it. Burn it. And then when you go out in the and then replace it with something positive, affirmations on a piece of paper, do that, okay? But when you go back out and about, before you go back out and about, always say, if you're, religious, say, Archangel Michael, I ask you to protect me in my day-to-day situation. I protect myself with the blood of Christ. If you're not religious, if you're a person that look at the universe and things like that, like I do, say, I protect myself with pure love and light. Archangel Michael, protect my energy. Do all that. Okay, so I just want to say this segment for those because that just hit me just now regarding suicide. I just wanted to just knock that out of the ballpark right now. And if that was for you, amen, brother, amen, sister. Just do that now, because this could be a matter of life and death. So just wanted to plug that in there. And so those demons had me to go back to my social media channel and social media posts to see if people cared about me by liking. Can you believe that? Commenting. And when they didn't, I felt less of a human being. I felt less of a person. So yeah, I'll admit, I was addicted to it. I had to let it go in 2013, 14, 15. I had to set that aside, and I really had to dig deep inside myself and ask me, why am I even here? Okay? See, that is the stress that caused me to gain a little bit of unwanted weight. It was the stress that caused me to go through a mental anguish during that time. And that's when it hit me. Sometimes our weight issues, sometimes our body issues has really nothing to do with food. Sometimes it could be all these demons, all these issues, all these blame games that we are possessing in our consciousness, and we're blaming others for it. It's his fault, and it's her fault, and it's the Republicans' fault, and the Democrats' fault, and the president's fault, and the left wing's fault, and the right wing's fault, and everybody else's fault except ours. And we just refuse to take in that responsibility. So I asked you from earlier, how far does the blaming game go? You might have agreed with Rocky on that skit, but ask yourself, where does it end? Or does it continue? Can you bring your power back and say, no, this is all me. This is all me. There's a lot of things that I need to heal, and I need to heal right now. So this is just the first segment of us digging deep in helping you get unstressed. We want to help you get unstressed because let me tell you something. That is the biggest silent killer of all time, of all humanity, but it's definitely affecting a lot of us here in America. And I want to do everything we want to do everything in our power to help you eliminate as much unnecessary stress as possible. Are you ready to get unstressed with me? Let's make it happen. Thank you for listening. Go ahead, subscribe to our channel, and if you subscribe to our email, you will get some content, some personal contents that can help you achieve your ideal life goal, aka body goal, things that have helped me out. Now I'll share some information with you that I use to better myself, and hopefully you can use that too to better yourself and give you more value as well, okay? Thank you for listening. My name is TEFitness. This is Uncut. Love you. Namaste.